Hey, hey, hey. We is live. Pinky fingers to the moon. Ain't that what Bruno Mars say? And
What's
Gypsy,
up,
hey,
y'all? What's up?
huh?
I said, what's up, y'all? What's up?
Look, Gypsy ain't here, so we can talk shit, y'all. She's on vacation, enjoying her peoples and having all the fun. So we continue to wish her safe travels. Can't wait to have her back next week. But why she ain't here? We gonna talk shit. No. But Sean, this is your episode tonight. You had some hot topics you want to throw out there, and I'm like, let's go. So let's go. What we doing?
All
What we
right,
talking
let's get
about?
into it. I mean, so I just wanted to talk about something that really just gets on my nerves is
Yeah.
the whole beef between black men and black women.
Okay.
And I call it beef, but I think is really made up beef because it's what society has pushed and we have fed into it. Um, and don't get me wrong, yeah, take away what you take away from whatever it is, but at the same time, I'm tired of all these uh, shows and people talking about how black women ain't shit because this that and the third, or black men ain't shit because this that and the third, and it's our own people saying it,
Yeah.
and I'm tired of that because okay, you may not have had the best experiences dealing with the opposite sex, but that don't mean everybody ain't shit. And B,
Facts.
take a look at yourself
They
because
ain't ready for that.
if you keep attracting ain't shit people, maybe
You ain't.
maybe there's a reason why.
Well, I like to, as we were talking about before we went live, I always like to keep in mind that number one, um, I think it's like much of what we experience, a lot of it is generational and ancestral, right? So I always have the conversation that our community is still absolutely in the throes, unfortunately, of healing from slavery and oppression. We are still actively oppressed every single day. We're still dealing with microaggressions and all the bullshit of racism and prejudicial system. That being said, I think that a lot of the statistics that the bros love to throw about in some of those podcasts and the things that we see that are real popular today are not even number one factual, if they're even using statistics, because most of them don't. The next thing is they're not even factual. And I think I sent you something, y'all, last week. I think I sent a screenshot in our chat because there was some guy talking about like, if a dude ain't got nothing, if he wants you to pay for everything, if he wants to get you to take on all the burdens, like he's homeless and he's basically his bitch. And they were in the comments like going at it, the men and the
Mhm.
women. And the one man was basically saying, well, this is why black women can't get a man because they standards too high. He was just carrying on, and like basically 80% of black women ain't married, will never be married, and all this, that, and the other. And so I think they use fear mongering to scare people. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you have a lot of hurt folks that spew nonsense, because if I can break you down, if I can humble you, if I
Mhm.
can make you doubt yourself, then likely if I never had a chance with you before, I can get one with you now because you don't think you can do better than me and all of my fucked upness. So we have to consider that too. You know what I'm saying? It's a game to a lot of people, unfortunately.
I mean, it is, and that's really messed up that people look at life as a game like that. My whole thing is this: is okay. Sometimes a man falls down,
Absolutely.
and as a woman, especially if you're his woman, yeah, you supposed to help him back up, just like he's supposed to do the same thing. But that does now. Okay, so I hate when a ninja want to sit at home all day and smoke weed and play video games and don't do nothing and take advantage of women. Okay, yeah, now that's yeah, okay. If you in that type of situation, you need to reevaluate, reassess, and move out of that situation.
Yeah.
But if you know this man is a hard working, even if he's like, you know what, I lost my 6 figure salary and nothing's coming in, I'm about to go start working at McDonald's because I need to make some type of money. Oh,
Yeah.
that's commendable. I ain't like, oh, look at this. He a joke because he worked. Nah, he like, look, I gotta do something to make something happen for my family. I can't just be sitting there not doing nothing.
Right.
So that's something that, yeah, okay, I don't fault that at all. But when you just sitting back and just taking advantage of somebody, now that's something totally different.
Well, I think a lot of people have that visual of what was his name in Baby Boy Jody.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have the visual of a Jody sitting on the sofa, fucking somebody else, using her car, showing up to her job late
Mm-hmm.
to pick her up when he ain't got
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm absolutely with you, depending on the circumstances. If someone has proven themselves to you and they have proven to you that they are intentional about you, they are loyal to you, they've already proven to you that they're building with you, whatever that looks like for those two people. I'm all about people working together. Teamwork makes the dream work. And, many hands make light work, as one of my friends like to say. So that being said, that's a difference. Basically, what he was saying that in that particular post was, if he brings nothing to the table, it is not your job as a woman to get him off the ground and build him back up into something, because more than likely he's not going to stay with you once he's got there. Now, I'm not a man, so I don't know. But like I said, they were going at it in the comments, and instead of them addressing him and what he was saying, a lot of the guys in the comments turned it as a narrative to attack women. And I was like, that's interesting. And so my point is, I think people see those instances and they assume that Black love is under attack. Yes, it is under attack, but not necessarily by all of us. A lot of us still love each other. A lot of us still honor and respect each other. I know just about every Black woman I know loves her some Black men. Like we down for the cause with us. But people see that and they think that Black people hate each other and our love is dying out.
But that's the narrative that's being pushed widely. That's what you
Absolutely.
see. You don't
Absolutely.
see when, and it's not sensationalized when somebody says, you know, hey, when I met my person, they weren't in the best of positions, and I was okay with that. And yeah, we worked until we both were in the position where we at now.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
sometimes it takes meeting that person, because sometimes life will beat you down so much that you think, man, look, I can't even do it no more. I give
That
up. And then you meet that one person that make you be like, you know what? I want to give them everything. And I can't do that sitting here in this position. So let me
mm-hmm.
bust my ass to make sure they know that I'm not just sitting here loafing around. So sometimes it takes meeting that person.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pause right here, quick commercial break. Make sure that y'all like this video. Make sure that you hop on in the comments and tell us how you feeling, what you're thinking, what you're sipping on. If you're sipping on something, what you're snacking on. If you got something yummy to eat, make sure that you click that subscribe button on the channel so that you know when we get live. Because listen, y'all, I ain't going to lie. As I was looking just then, I was trying to send the link to somebody and I was like, holy shit. No wonder they was mad at me because I sent the whole wrong link last week. I'm so sorry. Sent them completely to the wrong video on YouTube, not even on our channel. My bad. But if you like the videos and you subscribe, you ain't got to worry about me sending you the wrong link. That's all I'm saying. That being
All you
said,
gotta do is subscribe.
subscribe, engage. And make sure that you tell somebody else so they can hop in this conversation with us and let us know, like, what do you guys think about Black love? How do you feel? Are you in a relationship? Are you married? Long term, short term? Are you dating? Like, what has your experience been? Um, and like I said before we went live, and then I'll kick it back to you. You know, I tend to think the stats are skewed. I looked them up right before we came on here, and this is what I was sharing with Sean, you guys. Right now, some of the information that's out there, it says that currently 34% of Black men are married, compared to 28 to 30% of Black women. Uh, and there was one more that I wanted to point out. Um, According to the basic stats over the United States population, about 31% of Black Americans are married compared to 48% of the overall population of the US. And roughly 50% have never been married versus 34% of the overall population. Now, again, that being said, as you and I have both talked about tonight, there's a narrative that is pushed all the time. I don't care if it's in the music, I don't care if it's on TV, I don't care if it's in books, whatever it is, we are always being inundated with something that's telling us we're not enough, we're less than, we're not measuring up, we're behind. And I think the thing that pisses most less melanated people, the thing that pisses them off the most is, even though we're supposed to be behind, we neck and neck. With all the boots that we've had on our neck, with all the things that have been stolen, with all the upside down, moments, and all the fighting and all the bullshit and all the violence and all the constant oppression, we still right there with them. And much of society relies on things that our people have created, our culture has created, our culture has made popular. Much of society runs on shit that is stolen from us constantly. So that being said, I think that the narrative is even there in statistics. And so we can't trust the exact number because, like I was saying to Sean, they trust and believe they're not going to every courthouse and pulling every marriage statistic. They're not looking at common law. They're not looking at anything other than these are people typically filling out surveys and or signing up to participate in research studies or filling out some type of form or questionnaire. That's what most of these numbers are usually based off of. So it's going to be skewed anyway because of that. So I'm gonna kick it back to you, but I just want to make sure I highlight that because again, that's just like the social media thing. You can only trust so much of what you hear and what you see.
So an interesting thought occurred to me today. Have you ever seen a black rom-com?
I mean, I guess we could count Living Single, but how long ago was that?
Well, that was a sitcom, not really a rom. I'm talking about a rom-com. Something you're gonna go to the movies to watch, sit down and watch and see.
Mm,
Yeah, ponder that. But anyway, most of our love stories are what I call a rom drama. So it's a
yeah,
romantic drama.
everything I was thinking of, I was like, damn.
Exactly.
And most of
Because
it is trauma.
exactly because we always got, and that's yeah, life, man. Look, and maybe that's something that if there's a young buddy, director out there or script writer out there, maybe that's something that y'all might want to look into and write and make it funny as hell. And I'm not talking about the stupid stuff that I mean, because we did have dumb movies, but they were more comedies than anything else. I can't even think of the name of that one where it was Tommy Davidson and um, what's his name? It'll come to me. But anyway, it was mainly it's always like they want to show the movies where we always trying to chase and get a girl, but
Yeah.
it's not something where it's really focused on black love and having fun.
I mean, even with what was it, Best Man? A lot of that was still centered around trauma and drama.
Exactly.
Think Like a Man
Mm-hmm.
was the whole premise that you can't be ladylike
Mm-hmm.
and be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta think like a man, but you gotta act like a lady. What the fuck does that even really, really mean?
And
Um,
all of that still it pushes that narrative that okay, black women are so strong, and
yeah,
and black men ain't stepping up to the plate.
but we're penalized for being strong. Hey, Nadina, she said two can play that game is strictly business. But even with two can play that game, it was centered on mess. Like she was literally damn near cajoling him and going through all of these things to get him to commit, and then they still didn't even end up together.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they still didn't. And then in the sequel, I forget what happened in the sequel. There was some more bullshit in the sequel. Um, but if you, I think that's one of the reasons I hear a lot of people complain about Tyler Perry. He shows a lot of black love, but most of his is like trauma porn, is what I hear a lot of people calling it nowadays. And I have to admit, I don't watch a lot of his stuff as much anymore, but I still support him just because I remember
No,
when
no.
he first
Well,
started.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I remember when he first started in Atlanta. We were there at the beginning of his plays. But also I feel like whatever they're talking about that he does for the black community is likely that he's doing 10 times more. So, I try not to hate on him, because whatever we may think about him, he still is doing his best to make a difference with a lot of our people. He employs a lot of our people, keeps them employed where they don't get it other places, pays them higher than they get a lot of places. So, on the outside looking in, I feel like more power to him. I don't have to choose to watch it. It's like, that's the thing about me. Sometimes I feel like people should learn the art of shutting the fuck up. If you don't like it, don't watch. Like, you know what I'm saying? But why spend your time and your energy trying to tear down one of the people that are we see visually? Because I'm sure a lot of them were doing things behind the scenes, but we see him visually trying to do things. You get what I'm saying? But what were you gonna
No,
say?
I definitely understand, and no, I don't tear him down. I just don't, watch his stuff because that's just not my cup of tea. I just don't need to see a man running around dressed up like a woman, and that's his main thing. Um, and that's just, I mean, hey, if that's how you making it, make it. I ain't knocking you. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying,
Oh,
and it's a formula out there. So anybody listening, if you are a budding entrepreneur, if you make something that targets women, you're going to make money, especially if it targets black women. Black people spend way more money than anybody else in this country.
yep,
And I wish we would understand that and focus those dollars back on us because we
yep,
would be taking over and running things. But hey, that all feeds back into what I'm saying about as far as the black on black. Like I was never a Kevin Samuels fan because
not at all.
I didn't like how he would basically fat shame, slut shame, and all that to our black sisters. Okay, they made some not so great choices, but instead of telling them how to, okay, see what you did there. So in order to avoid that, maybe you need to do this. And you'd be like, oh, so you want a seven-figure man, but you're not a seven-figure woman. So what makes you think you deserve a seven? Like, hey, we all got dreams and aspirations. So why
Yeah.
don't we focus on how we can actually achieve those dreams and aspirations?
Well,
Now,
my thing
granted,
is, they love to call men simps. They wasn't calling his ass a simp though. Like, how to make that make sense?
I mean, I mean, hey, he carved out his own lane, so I can't really consider him a simp because
But he
I
was
don't know,
pandering. That's why
I
they call
don't.
them men simps, because they're pandering.
But they pandering to women. He was just pandering to the game. So that's a
Okay.
difference. That is a
Okay.
difference. It is if you pandering to the game, you just in it to make your money. Because I
Mm.
guarantee you, before he blew up, he wasn't sitting there dressed in his three-piece suit, his three-piece, handcrafted suit. Like he was going getting it tailor made
Right.
versus when he first started. So, when you paying it to the game, like I said, the games be sold, not told. So hey, but at the same time, what he was doing, and I just didn't understand why women kept calling him to just take that abuse
Couldn't have paid me to do it, but
because it's like it don't matter how much you weigh. It's somebody out there that likes how much you weigh. It
Facts.
is. So don't sit there and think, oh, because I weigh this amount, somebody's not going to like me. Like, no, that's not the case. But instead of telling people that they need to have, that within themselves to believe in themselves first, then somebody else is going to believe in you. He's like, look, so this, just breaking them down and breaking them down and breaking them down.
Yeah.
And I've never agreed with that. Like, you should never, and unless they ask for it. Like, well, I guess because they was calling him, they was asked. I don't know, but the only way I'm gonna do that is if you coming at me. Oh, you want? Oh, okay. This is what you want to do. I mean, you don't want this, but if this is what you want to do, we can go there.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't like him. I didn't care for him. Never watched him. Now, let me go back and say this about Tyler Perry too, because I do believe we have to support one another in order to keep our dollars circulating as much as we can for the people that look like us. I don't really watch most of what he produces now, but I will not lie. I do pull it up because he's got quite a few things on Netflix. I'll pull up and let it play and walk out the room. I don't have to watch it. I don't necessarily need to sit in trauma, right? But I know ratings count. So I'll pull it up on my phone or on my TV or whatever and walk out the room and go be doing whatever else I'm doing and let it play because I know that still makes a difference. Um, there are a lot of books that I don't read. I have several friends that write and they write like, the hood romance and the things. It's not really my lane. But I know people that love it. So I buy it to support them and I give it to somebody I know who, you get what I'm saying? So even if we don't like something, but we still want to support, there's always a way to make that happen if that makes sense to you. And even if you don't like him, there are plenty of indie filmmakers, there are plenty of indie authors and all kind of Black creators out there that are in need of our support. But another thing that we talked about is like the sensationalism. I clicked in something I think a couple of weeks ago, and it was like a compilation, I think, in some stories or something. One chick was out in her bra underwear in her garden, like ass jiggling, pulling plants, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" And I was like, "Let
Clickbait.
me check out the comments because maybe I'm missing something."
Nah, that's clickbait all day long.
Facts, but it was so funny because they was like, "How is she not getting ass ate up by these mosquitoes? Like, why?" You know what I'm
She
saying?
she she probably put some deed on.
I guess she did. Then the next video was a girl twerking in her underwear, like she was twerking, watering her flowers. And I'm like, why? Why have we gotten to such a place that this is what we feel like we got to do? And I get people that ask us all the time, like, Jay, I know y'all having real conversations. Why y'all not growing faster? Because I'm not doing it. I'm not finna sit out here with my ass out. I'm
And
not finna sit out
I
here with my
ain't
tits out. I'm not. Like, if I got to do that, I'm good. We'll miss it. I,
I'm not even going to lie. I had a conversation with one of my boys where he was like, because he knows me, and he's like, I expected you to be on there talking that shit you talk. I'm like, dude, that's not the lane we in. Like when I'm having a conversation with you, yeah, I say certain shit. Okay, that's between us, but that's not the lane we in, and that's not the lane I want to be in.
mm-hmm,
If I want to do that, hey, you and I, let's start a podcast and we'll be in that lane.
mm-hmm.
But on this, that's not the lane I want to be in because that's not. I mean, and that's what kills me and that's what it all boils down to because it's like people be so laser focused in their thought process, they can't
Yeah.
expand their mind to think about everything else that goes on in the world.
Yeah.
And so that's what kills me about shit because yeah, okay, Black men and Black women, yes, we do need to come together. But we need to come together on our own terms. We don't need the world to tell us, oh, this is what needs to be happening. This because okay, if you had a big mama or my mom or a nana or whatever you want to call her, she had how many kids? And that wasn't by mistake because granddad was right there with her.
Mm. Getting it on.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, even if, and I'm not saying this right, but even if granddad did have two families, ain't nobody find out till after he died.
And he was taking care of all of them
He took
for the
care
most
of
part.
everybody.
For the most part.
He took care of everybody, and that's why nobody knew nothing because wasn't nothing lacking because he took care of everybody.
I, I think people like to repeat it. So, like I had shared with y'all the little snippet of a podcast a while back, and it was a guy, he was not that becoming to me anyway. I'm sure he is to other people, but they were basically asking him like, "Why you out here lying? Like, there are women who want what you want." Because he just like to smash and let it go, hit and run. And they were like, "Why lie though? Because there are women out there that want the same thing. You could be somebody's fun buddy, no strings attached, whatever." And he was like, "But the girls I want, the girls I like, that's not what they want. So I'm gonna tell you all the things you want to hear because I want to get it from you because but I can't be honest." And I'm like, it's the simple fact that grown ass people, this is stuff you think teenagers do, but there are grown men and women, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, still doing
And
it.
still play
And I
those
don't
games.
still playing those games. And so when people see that, they think that's everybody. But like I said, every black woman I know loves black men, like ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Single, married, whatever, loves black men. But because those things are sensationalized, because we got the twerking and all the things, and we got, the pandering, for lack of a better word, saying all the spicy things to get people talking, that's what we see as prevalent. And so people assume. But I see more black men respecting black women. I see black men opening doors. I see black men pulling chairs out. I see black men paying bills. I see black men dating respectfully. Do I see the bullshit? Yes, it's out there just like anything else. I see black women keeping up bullshit too. But more than anything, I see those that are out here actually being mature minded adults, going to therapy now, talking about their problems, getting feedback from their friends, and actually trying to create healthy relationships
But that's not what get the clicks.
all day long. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when I'm sitting here talking about how, oh, you just want me for my money and why I gotta deal with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what get the clicks. And when women sit there, I mean, because trust me, it's a lot of delusional people out here that's like, oh, if he can't do this, then I can't fuck with him. And it's like, but you don't know what he can do. And it is a lot of guys out there that do that because like they'll just be like, hey, excuse me, miss, I just moved here. Can you tell me where? Oh no, leave me alone. No, leave me alone. And then when he walks to his Maserati or his Porsche or whatever exotic he got, and then this your car? Oh no, I can talk to you. And it's like, nah, you ain't want to talk to me before when I was just walking down the street.
Facts. I mean, I can straight up tell you, like, so I just had a conversation with my ex the other day. I don't even know how it came up. But anyway, like when we met, he looks like a bum. I mean, he knows this. He does it intentionally. So when we met, we just met, random conversation. We became friends. We were both dating other people. And eventually, through our friendship, we started dating and, had our years of being together. And I swear it was like the bane of my existence. He didn't give a damn how he looked, and I hated it. Like I hated it. And every once in a while, I could get him to put on a suit or something nice. We'll go, somewhere nice, upscale or whatever. But for the most part, he was gonna be chill, look like he had just crawled up under a house. That's his thing. You like it, I love it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I pulled some of the baddest women that I pulled when I was younger. I mean, I'm not in the game no more, but back when I was younger, I pulled some of the bad. When I worked construction, and I be dusty as hell,
Yes,
dirty as hell, and I pulled some of the baddest women I pulled, and like, trust me,
I
like
promise you.
mm.
Because one,
But
we're looking at you're a hard
you're
worker.
a hard worker,
You're doing what you
exactly.
gotta do. You get what I'm saying? And I knew that about him. So we were having a conversation the other day, and he was telling me, his net worth now, and I was like, bet. So we were high fiving each other on, the things that we're working
Mm-hmm.
on. If you look at him, you'll never know. You
Exactly.
know what
You're
I'm
not
saying?
supposed to know.
And that's what I be trying to tell women that are not just black women, people, period. I be trying to tell women that all day long. So when I was a teenager, they used to say, look at a man's shoes. Look at his shoes, and if his shoes are dusty and bent up or whatever, he ain't got no money, he ain't got that. And even back then I knew, just based on the guy that I dated. So I got my first proposal when I was 17. His family
God
owned
damn.
a
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
his family owned a charter bus company, right?
Oh shit, they was
You'll never
making
look
money.
right, but you'll never look at him and tell. And I learned that even then, like you can't, but that's what I grew up hearing people say, right? So I knew that even then, that's some bullshit. That's just like dumb. And so I try to tell women all the time, don't get so stuck on what you think a dollar amount looks like on a person, because even dealing in real estate, like a lot of the investors that I've worked with, a lot of the people that I've been around, they drive Toyotas, Hummers, Jeeps, Mercedes, Benz, Hondas,
You
30
know
years old, 60 years old, 77 Mustang, beat the hell up, but still running. Like you can't judge
I might,
based
you
on
might
what they
fuck
look
around, catch me in a Yaris.
right. So do you want somebody that's gainfully employed and doing what they got to do? Yeah, nobody really wants nobody. No woman wakes up and is like, I think I'm gonna date me a bum today. No, but you
But
can't judge him based on what. Because I pull, I don't care what I got on. I could walk out like, y'all. I
it's
swear
different. You're a woman. It's different. It's
it's
different.
not.
It is. It
But
is.
y'all,
It
y'all
is.
think women
Now,
don't
no, no,
care
no, no,
about
no,
looks
no,
and
no,
we
no, no,
visual,
no, 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 no. Let me
and
clarify.
we're visual like
No,
y'all
no,
visual.
no, 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 no. Clear. Let me clarify.
Mm.
As a woman, you can pull anything. Now, pulling quality is a different story. But on a regular
Look,
basis, you can walk out the door and be like, "Hey, nigga, come here." You know what I'm saying? And that's all. That's all. As a woman,
you're
as a
right.
man, that's all I'm saying. That's
You're
why I said,
right.
let me clarify.
But
I ain't.
to add to that, let me say quality. Can you pull anything? Yes. But to say quality, yeah. So I literally have washed my dog. I'm talking about on the deck, wet the hell up. Washed the dog, gave him a bath, put him back inside. Like, oh man, I meant to run to the store real quick. And we'll go to the store because I just feel like whatever. And we'll get somebody hitting on me. And when I've asked,
Well, that's not fair. You had a wet T-shirt on.
not a way, I'm okay, let's say from the waist down. Leggings, black leggings, because I'm normally in black leggings. But because this just happened like a week ago, black leggings, wet all up. And they probably had dried some by the time I got to the store. T-shirt dirty, like because I had been out in my garden too. Like I just looked a hot ass mess. Didn't care. I just needed to go to the store and get something real quick. And so this guy was hitting on me, and I was like, dude, I probably look homeless right now. Like, and he was nice looking too.
And he didn't care.
And I said, why? And he was like, yo, because if you look like that and you say you just gave your dog a bath, I know you look fine when you put some clothes on. I was like, okay, but that's what I've always heard. That's why guys don't mind talking to us as women when we feel like we look crazy, because they already know if you look nice looking crazy, then I know you're gonna
Exactly.
look great when you put that effort. But I tell women the same thing. Like if he's gainfully employed, if he's respectful, don't go simply by what he looks like. I see it all the time when I go to the barber shop. I go get my hair cut and I'm in there laughing with Benny, and I'm just watching the guys as they come in, and I'm listening to them as they talk about what they do. And they come in looking broke down, just got off work, dusty, making six figures, driving a Mercedes or a Suburban, and so my point is, y'all, we can't judge. We shouldn't judge simply based on what they look like. But sometimes I think it's a blessing in disguise, because if a person is solely judging you based off of that, they're probably not the right person for you anyway.
Exactly. And that's that's
Um,
that's
you know,
that's my whole point about this whole thing. Is like, because there are a lot of
hey, sure.
women out there that they strictly looking for money,
Yeah.
and that's what they looking for. And you coming in being stepdad and taking care of her, and now you think I mean, I'm not saying this to be funny, but
I know you're telling the truth.
you taking care of her and her child, and now y'all get married, and now she had you sign some papers. Now you done adopted the kid, and then she turn around and divorce you and take you for child support.
Mm-hmm.
Now you paying alimony and child support,
Yeah.
and that's crazy. But there's some women that's their whole mo.
Facts.
Because after she gets you, she gonna go get somebody else.
Facts.
And we gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop, you know, being in that kind of mind frame. And I say this wholeheartedly. Look, y'all fought for equal rights, equal independence as women. So when that 50-50, oh, I can't mess with a man that want to have that 50. Look, first of all, if he a real man, he gonna say 50-50, but he gonna do 75% anyway. Just because. He is. But all he needs is that 50-50 buy-in to know that, okay, she not out here just trying to give me for what I got.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I can't generalize that part of it because I don't know. I can only speak from what I've experienced. I've never had a man ask me for 50-50. I just haven't.
I mean,
Um,
everybody ain't got it like you, Jay.
um, that being said, um, I think it's up to the people to decide what makes sense for them, right? So I'm not saying that there's anything inherently wrong with 50-50. If you like it, I love it. But what I am very clear on is I don't need no roommate. So if a guy ever did come to me, and that's not to say that, we're not going to go through challenges, life happens. But like I gave the example, I think when we talked about this previously, I think for me, my issue with it is if you're nickel and diming me, and I use the example of because I've heard people say, well, I paid the water bill, it was 225.48. I need my, and they'll break it down dollars and cents. And
But
I'm like,
but see, a real
what?
man not gonna
That's
do that.
crazy.
That's what
And
I
that's what
said.
I say.
That's what I said. Like if a man if a man is coming at you with the 50-50 conversation, well, it can go either way. But most men, when they talk that, they just need that buy-in. They just need to know that, hey, if she's like, okay, we can do 50-50, I know she got my back.
Mm-hmm.
So that if I do stumble, if I do fall, she got my back. Now I don't plan on that, but this is life and anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. And that, like I said, I feel like if a man has shown you that, if he comes into your space in your life, showing you, stepping in, doing whatever you are expecting or asking for him to do, and he shows you that, if he falls, I think why would that partner not want to help? Why would that? Why would that partner not want to say, I know he's had my back and done all this and that and the other? Why would I not want to stand up and keep us going until he's able to get back up? Because it could be a health injury, it could be a mental health breakdown, it could be so many unexpected things in life that happen. And I know that, if I fall, I expect my person to hold me up. So why would I not? You know what I'm saying?
But
Um,
it's a lot
but
of
a lot of
women
people, you know,
that won't do that. Like you supported them for 10, 12 years. And then
yeah.
you fall down in 6 months and they like we need to rethink this.
Well, now I think we talked about this earlier this year. The what's the lawyer's name? It's a black lady lawyer on TikTok. I love her, and she's always talking about like some of the crazy cases that she's had or heard of. And she was talking about this lady that she had. I forgot what her profession was, but she went to school. You know, um, got the student loans, did all this stuff. got into her career making great money. And then when it was the husband's turn to go to school, they had gotten to such a point she was really able to just give him the money to go to school. Oh, Homeschooler had a baby with somebody else and was taking the money and taking care of a whole separate family, not paying for the yeah, like, and the only reason she found out because he was supposed to be getting close to graduation. And when she was calling the school trying to figure out, okay, well, when's graduation? How much longer does he have to go? They was like, he ain't never been enrolled here. So you do have the extreme situations where, and this is why I tell people, if you feel like you got assets that you're stressed out about, protect yourself. Get a prenup, get a trust, get whatever you feel like you need to have in place. Because if somebody genuinely wants to be with you, y'all gonna figure it out and make sure that both people are protected and walk away okay. You do have those extremes. But again, I still, and maybe it's my naivete, maybe I got rose colored glasses on, it could be both. But I still genuinely feel like even though we have craziness and people cheating, people lying, all those things, like any other culture, we still have so many of us that love each other. Like, hands down, I don't care what I done been through with black men. I still think that black men are amazing because not everybody cheats. Not everybody's a dog. Not everybody's an ass. Just like not every woman is great. Not every woman is bad either. Not every man is great, but not every man is bad. I still think that there are more of us that are good and that are doing good and that are taking care of ourselves and dealing with our mental health, or at least figuring it out. Even if they're not in therapy, they're figuring out what it looks like to be healthy and learn how to communicate and change things and not just sitting around in their BS and in their misery or and hating
No,
on each
that's true. That's true. And I do want to touch on something that Cher said. Uh, that is true. Yes, the not that one. The next
other.
one.
Okay. Dating for money is a taught behavior and a learned experience, and the patriarchal complex started that rabbit hole.
And that is true because what people don't understand is that originally, as people, we were a matriarchal society.
Facts.
Women did run shit, they ran shit, but as soon as the men kind of got control and got power, they did what they do, and they tried to beat the women down, and that's when they stripped women of all their power and their control, and women became property and became things. So once women were able to fight for, you know, their control again and saying, hey, we can do whatever a man can do,
Yeah.
that's kind of where things kind of went left. But especially with black people, with the way that we were treated, and they made sure they separated our families, and spread us apart, and made basically pit us against each other, and
All of
that
that.
was done intentionally
Well,
to
I mean, if
make
you look
us
at the system of getting support, the man couldn't be in the house.
exactly.
If he is in the house, if he's found to be in the house when they do inspections, oh, guess what? You're gonna lose your food stamps. Oh, guess what? You're gonna lose your Section 8. Oh, guess what? You're gonna lose this. Oh, guess what? You're gonna lose that. Because no other people, no other culture was being mandated that their men could not be in the house in order for them to get
Exactly.
assistance. And if we still go back to the very beginning, it was not created for us in the first fucking place. It was created for white women. And even right now to this day, prevalently, they are still the ones that benefit the most from just about every governmental assistance that there is.
Yeah, yeah. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with the DEI thing, because
It
that's going to
benefited them the
affect
most.
white. It's going to affect white women more than anybody else,
It
and that and
benefited
that
them the most.
and that's who it prospered the most at that time. Yeah. So because we always had to get it out the mud, so that ain't nothing new to us.
So, because I knew that you wanted to talk about this, I also wanted to make sure that we gave tips and suggestions tonight on how do we spice up our communication as Black love people, as couples, romance, sex, whatever, right? Communication is a big foundation to all of that being healthy. So, so as we continue to talk tonight, okay, first of all, ladies, see the bedroom eyes that Mr. Sean was giving just then.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I'm just saying. You gotta keep it spicy.
Ladies, shoot your shot. Ladies, shoot your shot. All I'm saying. Oh, let me put this reminder out here. Sean said, if y'all ain't no head doctor, you got to be willing to learn, just so that you know. Them's the application requirements.
That is true. I ain't gonna
So,
lie, but I'm just saying.
you know, you got to be real with the people. You got to tell the people what's up. So, the first thing that I wanted to throw out here is I think that we have to change our mindset when it comes to Black love. We
Exactly.
cannot get into a relationship with one another and think that it's going to work just because we both Black and we both understand the struggle. You don't want your relationship to become all about the struggle and all about the things that are happening out there in the world behind those doors or outside those doors, right? So I want to challenge us to look at our relationship as a place of rest. You're right. If you got your person, let that be a place of rest and sacredness. That doesn't mean that you don't talk about shit. You got to have conversation. A lot of us fall apart because we are not willing to communicate. But you also have to be at a rest. Cuddle on the sofa and watch TV. Cuddle in bed after you make love. Don't just jump up and go hang out with your boys or go kiki with your girls. Cuddle. Spend time talking about all the things, not just your problems, but also learn the art of intimacy when it doesn't have anything to do with sex. Rub her feet, massage his mustache, rub her scalp, rub his scalp, massage her back, rub his whatever. Like, learn to touch one another in such a way that it's enjoyable and pleasurable, it's helpful, it's stress relieving, and it doesn't always have to lead to sex because that's another way to deepen your intimacy with and without sex involved. Okay. So look at your
And
space with each other as rest, y'all. That's the first one. Go ahead.
hand massages go a long way.
Yes. Wait,
I'm
what
just
kind of
saying.
hand massage you talk? Oh, never. Wait.
I mean massaging their hands.
Okay.
I didn't mean a hand massage.
You know, I gotta be clear because y'all be you and Jim,
I didn't
you
mean
and
that.
Gypsy be slipping
I
it in.
meant massaging the hand.
All right, I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Y'all know him and Gypsy be slipping it in. They be doing it. They be doing it. Um, Sure said be open to Black love and intentional. Yes, 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 yes. All of that jazz. Learn their love language. Yes. And listen, don't be afraid, y'all. Because I have no problem with the five love languages. It's a great start. But that's all it is, y'all, is a start. Your love language may not be listed in that book in language that makes sense to you. So think deeper within yourself. Talk to your partner, ask them to think deeper and give you things that make sense in the language that you all use. I always joke about it, but I'm very serious when I say food is one of my love languages, right? You want to show me you love me? Bring me food because I hate having to figure out what I want to eat. I am very indecisive. I am that person. Babe, what you want to eat? I don't know. You want such and such? Not really. What about? Mm-mm. Just take the decision off my shoulders and bring me food. Keep me well fed and happy. You get what I'm
Now
saying?
I can tell you this as a man, nothing pisses us off more than that. Especially when we out chilling and you be like, "Hey babe, you hungry? I can eat. What I'm hungry. Well, what you want? I don't know what you want. Well, shit. They go Chipotle. Nah, I don't want that. They go Papa John. Nah, I don't want that. They
Mm-mm.
go Bonefish Grill. Nah, I don't want that.
I don't want that either. What you
What
feel like?
the
I don't really
fuck
know.
you want then? Shit. You the
I
one.
don't
I
know.
was chilling. I wasn't even thinking about eating until you said it. Now I'm like, okay, I can eat. What you want though? Cause you hungry and you can't. Oh my god.
I don't know why we're like that, but we are. Listen. And so figure out what your love language is. You may find it in the book. It may fit within the parameters of those five, right? And that may work. But if it doesn't, if there's something else, if there's a different way that you need to explain it or have it explained to you, be willing to talk with your partner about that so that you guys can get on the same page. Because a lot of times we're saying the same thing, but we're saying it in different ways, right? You speak in Spanish, they talk in French. So
And
you
that's
got
just,
to be able to learn each other's
yeah.
language, period. Even outside of your love language, you got to be able to learn each other's language, period, so that you understand what each other is trying to communicate.
And all I'm saying is, if somebody says something, don't immediately take offense to it. Say, hold up, wait, what
Yeah,
do you mean by that? So that you can learn, because what they're saying, because what you heard may not be what they're saying.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've had those situations where, oh, they just flew off the handle because what they heard was not what I was saying. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I say what I was saying, oh, you just saying that because, like, no, that's what I meant from the beginning.
Yeah,
But now it looks like that because you flew off the handle. But no, if you'd have just had, I'd have told you the same thing.
absolutely. So we really have to, I said this to a friend of mine the other day. He was talking about something getting on my nerves. And I was like, dude, I see why you have so many women problems. Fuck. I said, you don't listen. Because I had whatever I was saying, he wasn't hearing it. And he kept asking me something. I was like, I just said it. He was like, no, you didn't. I said, but I just did. And he was like, no, you didn't. Oh, okay. I said, I see why you have so many women problems. You don't listen. The ladies love me. Okay. You single right now, ain't you? They don't love you, sir. They don't. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I was like, I'm just telling you as your friend what I see. I can't even imagine what they dealing with you. Like, I'm just telling you what I observe on the outside. And his biggest problem that I see is communication. So you have to be willing to listen to people and to be able to express to them so that they can listen as well. Because if you're talking more than you're listening, you're not a good communicator. If you're talking with the intention of responding, you're not a good communicator. And if every time somebody says something that you don't like or you disagree with, you get upset, you're not a good communicator, right? So we have to be willing to learn ourselves and be honest with our shortfalls in order to grow in a healthy relationship with somebody that we genuinely love. Shandrita said, I'm learning how to listen to my person and not be on the defensive. It's hard. Facts. You listen. That's why I say if you are listening with the intent to respond, it, and if everything is filtered through your hurt, that's another thing we have to be mindful of. If everything that people say to you, whether it's your friends, your man, your woman, whoever, is filtered through your hurt, you're not a good communicator and you have pain that you need to work through. I don't care whether you call it pain, trauma, wounding, whatever. This is why I advocate for everybody to go to therapy or find somebody safe that we can talk to, right? Because a lot of the times we're beating our person up for shit that ain't got nothing to do with, they're just the closest person to us. And that's not fair.
The most powerful phrase, I need a beat.
Facts.
And that's because when somebody says something to you, you may want to bop, 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 but say, hey, I need a beat so that you can process what they said, process your response, and then say, you know what? Let me respond in this manner because this is what I felt like what you were saying. And then that it does not become confrontational, it becomes a conversation, which
Mm-hmm.
allows you to open up and learn each other.
Mm-hmm. I would also say, and I would love to hear what you think about this, Sean. Sometimes we think that a person that keeps bringing something up is bringing it up because they just want to argue. But often they're bringing it up because they're not feeling heard. Y'all may have had the conversation. You may have thought it was over. But if you're not responding to them in a way that they truly feel like you're understanding what it is that they're putting on the table, or that they feel like you're working towards a resolution, typically that person is going to continue to bring it up. And that's when a lot of times women are being told that they're nagging, or men are being told that they just want to argue, or vice versa. And I think that it's not that people want to nag or they just want to argue. A lot of times they genuinely don't feel understood or heard, or they don't feel like a resolution has been reached. And sometimes you have to table things and let it just die a death and be done. But other times you have to be willing to step away and figure out, how can I say it differently? Or how can I ask them clarifying questions to better understand what it is they need to give me so that I can respond differently?
And see, I was going to give a clinical breakdown, but you just said it, because at that point, yes, sometimes you do have to say, okay, see, mm, me, I'm more blunt, because I'll be like, hold on, wait, you said all that, but you didn't answer my question.
Facts.
I will say that, and sometimes maybe that might be too much for the situation. But hey, you didn't answer my question. Like, you said all of that, but you did not answer my question, because that's not what I asked. It sound good, and a regular person might be like, "Oh, okay," but nah, you didn't answer my question. So sometimes you do have to say, "Okay, they didn't answer my question," and
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta be blunt, like, you didn't answer my. And sometimes you gotta be like, "Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm asking," and restate it. So maybe they would give a more direct answer to what you're looking for. They will give a more direct response to what you're looking for. Sometimes you have to do that. And sometimes you do have to say, you know what? And you have to let them know, you know what? We're going to just stop this right here. We will revisit this when
Hmm.
we both have more common minds, and we can discuss it in its totality. Sometimes you have to do that. So it's just how you look at the situation.
Absolutely. Shan said, being honest and saying, baby, help me understand, or what am I doing to upset you? Absolutely. That's another good reframe as well. I know for me, I often am accused of being unjustly accused of being too blunt or too straightforward. Because I'm the same. Like if somebody's saying something, I'm like, that's not what I asked. But I just answered your question. You just don't like what I'm saying. No, that's literally not what I asked you. So I'll try to reframe the question, right? Because I'm like, just give me what I asked you for. You gave me all this unnecessary shit, but you didn't actually answer, So I get accused of being too direct. So I work on that because I'm also a fan of, if more than one person is saying it to you, there's got to be some truth in it somewhere, right? I feel like it is an unjust accusation, but I work on it. I do. Um, so I take that feedback, and to me, I'm always trying to figure out what are two or three different ways that I can ask something. Because if the way that I'm asking it isn't resonating with them in such a way that they're asking clarifying questions, or they're not responding to me in a way that makes sense based on what I'm asking, I know there's a disconnect in translation, right? So let me rephrase. So that's often a phrase that I love to use. Okay, let me rephrase this. And that's another thing that you can try, because again, sometimes we get into arguments or disagreements in relationship, not because people really want to argue, but the communication is just disconnected or discombobulated, right? And you got to remember, you are speaking two different languages. You have two different backgrounds, two different upbringings, two sets of different experiences. Even if you grew up in similarity, and those two paths are going to be colliding against each other until you find the way in the middle to reach each other and remove a lot of that stuff and just get on a playing field where it's just you and that person in the moment, not your pain, not your trauma, not your bullshit, not your exes, not all your things, right? So we have to be willing to look at ourselves. And I say it jokingly, unjust, it's real, but we have to be able to joke about it and realize we're fucked up people sometimes. And we have to acknowledge that and honor that, while giving our partners sacredness and safety to be able to communicate our shortcomings just like we want to communicate theirs. Because you can't tell a person about themselves if you are not willing to hear about yourself in return.
Exactly. One of my favorite sayings that I tell people, like, yo, why I gotta bleed for somebody else cut?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because somebody else did that to you. You can't hold that against me. I mean, I'm not that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do that. So why I gotta bleed for somebody else cut? Like, nah, fuck that. Nope. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or
either
why
we
I
can
gotta be sick because
discuss it.
somebody else poisoned you.
You know
Right?
what I'm saying? We can discuss it. We can talk about it, and we can work
Exactly.
through it. But we have to do that as adult, and that's the thing. You got to approach the situation as an adult. You can't.
Yeah.
wallow in your past trauma and bring that with you.
Facts.
You just can't
Absolutely.
do that because at the end
Absolutely.
of the day, you literally are like it could be a great thing, but you done fucked it up because you want to bring your past trauma with you, and now you done force somebody away. They done moved on, and you sitting there still sitting there twiddling your thumbs, wondering, what the fuck.
Let me also throw this out there. Recognize that not every argument is a bad thing. Not every disagreement is a bad thing.
That's true.
It takes a little bit of friction to really build anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we look at most recipes, we got to cook it in order to bring
A
the
couple of
alchemical process.
times.
You know what I'm saying? In order to bring the alchemical process into fruition to have dinner or breakfast or lunch, right? You go get your hair cut, you go get your nails done, you go get your hair done, whatever there are chemicals involved a lot of times. Even if it's natural, there's still chemical reactions and processes that take place. You want to bake a cake, there's a chemical reaction that has to take place in the ingredients. So there's a little bit of friction involved in most things in life. And I think sometimes people have been so wounded by some of the things that they've been in, you know, they don't know how to have healthy disagreement or healthy arguments. Understand that not every disconnect means destruction. Not every disconnect means that you're going to break up or break down. Sometimes you got to disconnect in order to tear certain things down and build stronger on top of that or past that, beyond that, because what you had prior to that may have been built on misunderstandings, miscommunications, just wrong information flat out, whatever the case may be. But as you get to know each other more, as you grow together, that friction helps you to learn and cement and build stronger. That's my take on it. Now, that don't mean you need to be arguing every day, cussing and screaming, carrying on, acting foolish. But it does mean that every disagreement is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's necessary to learn.
But with that being said, you do also have to understand that you have to be with somebody that's mature enough mentally to understand that and work with that.
Absolutely.
Because when you have somebody that's just stuck in their ways
Oh, yeah.
and they not willing to mature past that, yeah,
Deuces.
yeah, yeah, it ain't gonna work. Let it go.
Deuces, boo.
And it's
Which,
gonna hurt, but let it go.
let them go. Who sang? Oh, no, I was going to say who sang that, but that's from oh, I can't even remember the name of the movie. And that's one of them cartoon movies. Let it go.
Oh yeah, hey, I don't have young kids, so I don't know.
Oh, I can't think. Y'all know what I'm talking about with Elsa
Oh
and the
no,
snowman.
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Oh, because it was so popular. Fucking
Yeah.
Frozen.
Frozen. That's it. Frozen. When she be singing her little heart out, let it go, baby, let it go. So we already talked about number two, which was going to be make sure that you use your communication to heal, not to destroy, right? The third tip I want to give you all is to remember that flirting is not just for when you're trying to catch a man or catch a woman and shoot me a shot. It is to weave and embed through the entirety of your relationship. I am convinced that one of the things that helps relationships last and be long term and successful and healthy is regular flirtation, ongoing dating. You don't stop dating just because you get together, just because you get married, just because you get engaged, just because you've been together a while. And that's the trap that people fall into is, oh, I got them now. No, you don't got them now. That's you're gonna lose them now too. You know what you're gonna lose them. So keep flirting, keep dating, keep spicing it up, keep doing the same. What is that old saying? The same shit you did to get him is the same thing you got to do to keep him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Where that sexy lingerie?
Facts. And if you're gonna, and if you're gonna do it, and you're gonna change, you need to be able to communicate to them why you're changing, so that they know, is it due to health? Is it due to mental health? Is it due to time constraints, finances? Are you just changing? Are they changing? Are your needs changing? That should still be open communication. So it's not just cold turkey. And now you got somebody wondering, are you cheating? Do you not love them anymore? What they did to you? What's wrong? No, let's communicate. Hey, April, how you doing? Ooh, my nose is itching.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't care how stressed out you is, because sex is a great stress reliever. So don't sit there and be like, oh, I'm just so stressed. Like sometimes, when I say sex, what I really mean is intimacy.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's not even about the physical of having sex; it's just the intimacy of just the touch.
yeah.
Like just lay down. Let me rub your back. Let me rub your feet. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just make you feel good. Now, of course, that could lead to sex, but at the same time, that's not the number one goal. The number
Yeah,
one goal is let me just make you feel good, relax, because I understand you stress.
facts. Figure out again, that goes back to what are your person's love languages? How highly do they prioritize sex? What is their sex drive versus what is your sex drive? Because I don't care how much you love a person. If you would, I need to get it 2, 3 times a day type man or woman, and they good if they get it once a quarter, y'all not gonna work. Y'all not gonna work. And you can love them all day long, but either you're gonna have to be polyamorous or have an open relationship or have you a boo thing on the side if they don't care, or you're just not gonna be able to be together because one person's gonna have to deny their base need in order to satisfy another person or give more than they feel like they have to give in order to satisfy the other person. Either way it goes, more than likely both of you are gonna end up resenting each other. And it's the
And
same thing with
and that's
money.
true. Yeah, that's true.
It's the
And,
same thing with
that
money.
that's my whole thing. Like at the end of the day, if you know what you're looking for, there are avenues. There are ways that you can go after what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because just like there are women that want to be taken care of, there are men that want to take care of women,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. There are women out there that will take care of a man if that's
There
what
are women that
if,
want a
if
house husband.
exactly. So, but you need to go. Just don't go after the regular. Oh, they look good, and then that's what you wanted. You want them to do this and that, and that's not what they into.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Right.
But hell, with online dating, you could narrow that down. Whatever you into.
It's kind of easy to find what you want out there nowadays. And
I
like
mean,
I
they
said,
have.
even with the sex conversation, it's the same with money. Like if you know that you frugal and you penny pinch and you ain't gonna spend none until Jesus come, don't get you somebody that likes to have luxury and likes to shop. It ain't gonna work. Somebody gonna end up mad and pissed off and bitter.
Mm-hmm,
It really these are two conversations we need to be having
mm-hmm.
before we
Before
get into,
anything,
you know what I'm saying? What are your
before the
spending
first
habits?
date, before
Mhm.
anything.
Do you pay your bills on time? You know, but I feel like, they used to give me a heart. So this before you came and joined us, uh, Benny and Muticus was the name he went by on screen. The two of them gave me it was some type of nickname they gave him. But oh my God, the two of them used to give me such a hard time because I'm a fan of asking questions. Ask me 1,000 questions. I'm not gonna get upset if I don't want to answer it. I'll tell you I don't want to answer it, and I'm gonna give you a reason why. I'm not just gonna say none of your business. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm interested in you, then you deserve to get to know me, and vice versa. So I'm a fan of asking questions, answering questions. Let's get it. Let's have these talks. And they would just come for me like, you doing too much. Ain't nobody sitting down talking about all that before they start fucking. And I'm like, but people really do. And if they don't, they should. Like this would avoid a lot of bullshit if people were actually talking.
Now, if you was in your early 20s, that's different. But as adults,
Right.
no,
Come on.
you need to have conversations.
Come on.
You
I
need to
want to
know
know, do
each
you
other.
pay your bills on time? What do you
Yeah.
work at? I'm not concerned about how much you make per hour. What I'm really concerned about is, do you pay your bills on time? Do you like to be financially responsible? Do you clean? When's the last time you washed your ass? How often do you like to take a shower? If you don't know how to cook, you can learn that. But
Yeah,
do you clean
I'm
your
sorry.
bathroom? Do you
I'm
vacuum?
sorry. I'm sorry. I just I'm sorry, because I didn't know that was a thing until I really heard about it. But niggas, take fucking showers, wash your get in between them ass cheeks, wash that shit. Don't be up here stinking and shit.
you know, okay, I really want to know, like, do you go to bed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Because we're not gonna work. I mean, I'm not up till 2 o'clock in the morning, but we ain't gonna work if we can't never see each other because you trying to go to damn sleep. Like, what the fuck? I swear to y'all, this is real. I just had this conversation um with a client. Somebody tried to set her up with somebody, but they couldn't even go on a date because home skillet was trying to go to bed at like 6, 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock in the evening. And nothing wrong with that.
Were
If
they older?
yes, I think he
Okay.
was in his 50s. So
Okay.
not old. He was older than her because she's in her
So
30s.
what did he go to work like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something?
No. And that's why I was asking, like, okay, now if his work schedule just dictates that's when, but he was retired. Oh no. No, sir. No. And
In his
so
50? That's too.
you see what I'm saying?
I'm
So
sorry, that's
you
too
gotta
young.
be able to have these conversations because like you can't be wanting to be a wild child, but you got somebody that want to be at home by 3 o'clock because they don't like to drive when it get dark. Like, come on now. You I done heard it all. So we have to be willing to have these conversations. When's the last time you got STD testing? When's the last time you went for a checkup? Do you have a doctor? Do you have a primary care physician? Do you like to go to the doctor when your shit is bothering you? Do you monitor your blood like these are things. Do you monitor your blood pressure? What else was what I was about to say? But these are questions not on the first date necessarily, but these are questions that we as adults should be having. Because I'm like, you're gonna trust somebody with your body, the most valuable asset that you have outside of time, but you're afraid to ask them basic shit. No, no, nope.
Look, if our first conversation it ain't at least 3 hours, we ain't got shit to talk about.
You get what I'm saying? Like that's a norm for me. But here's the thing, Sean. When I tell people that, my first conversations with people are typically like 3, 4 hours. I was surprised at how many women I've said that to over the years, and they're like, really?
No,
That's normal for me.
we gotta get to that nitty gritty, and ain't nothing sexual about nothing in that
Nope.
conversation.
We talking about finances.
Nothing.
We talking about mindset. We talking about growing up. Where you go to high school? What were you interested in? Did you play sports? Did you like? What are your beliefs? What do you think
Shit.
politically? Like,
The sex don't even come up till like the third or fourth conversation.
facts. And the interesting thing to me is I'm not. I also am not used to just going out to dinner for a date, like just dinner or just lunch. Like typically, my first dates are 6 to 12 hours because we might do lunch and then go do something else, or we might go sightseeing or whatever around town and then go to dinner, or start off with breakfast and then keep going through it. And same thing, as I've said that to people through the years, they're like, really? And I could never figure out why that was so surprising until I just finally realized most people are not communicating.
Exactly.
They're just jumping into, oh, she cute, oh, he fine, he got
Hmm.
muscle, he got a six pack,
Hmm.
whatever. Or he's driving a nice car, or oh, she got a fat ass, or she got a 20-inch weave, or whatever. And they're not actually getting beyond that to the shut up.
I'm sorry, that was a 20-inch weed. Like, I don't know who find that attractive, but hey, more power to you.
So if you listen to a lot of this music out here nowadays, they talking about the hair down the back and the weaves and the bundles.
I mean, yo,
Um,
yeah, but
I
me,
love it, but
I'm more traditional. I don't need none of that shit. You can have that lace front, you can have that weave, but that ain't what I'm looking for. But hey, that's what floats your boat. Hey, do you?
yep.
I would
You,
say.
like I said, you like it, I love it. But that's standard for me is the longer conversations, the multiple conversations before we ever even go on a date. And then when we do go on a date, it's usually going to be longer because I think that you can only get to know so much over
In
dinner in a loud
conversation. Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah.
but actually going to a museum, walking around the park, going to exercise
Now,
together, like it really gives you an opportunity to talk and engage with a person and get to know their personality and see them in different spaces.
the most important thing about having a food date is, god damn it, this motherfucker chew loud as shit.
Oh, yes. Do you know how to chew with your mouth closed? Oh, oh.
That's the most important thing about a food date.
Woo. My God. It's like, do some of y'all not have no home training? You chew like barn animals. My Lord. Yep. Yep.
But everything else is about seeing how they interact out in public.
Mm-hmm. And do they know how to change it up in different circumstances? That's another thing
That's
I'm
true.
looking
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Like if we're in a museum or we're in somebody's space that's a little bit more refined, maybe a little bit quieter, do you know how to shut the fuck up? This is not the place to be loud because we talking over the train going past us while we walking in the park. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we have to gauge how does their personality mesh with our personality based on the places that we like to hang out and the things that we like to do. And you can only see so much on a coffee date or over a dinner date or breakfast or whatever. So I'm a big fan of get out in the community, go do things together, go to a fair, go to the amusement park. Like you want to see them in different settings around different types of people. And it doesn't always have to be expensive. Like date wherever your budget allows you to date, but still find things that allow you um to see the variances of that person, the nuances of that person. You know what I'm saying? Why are you laughing when I said date within your budget?
Nah, damn it, I can't think of the name of the movie, but it was this movie I saw where a dude had took Shorty out on a date and he had no money, so he was doing, like the park and stuff, and he
Um,
bought like a hot dog and a drink, and then it was it was a unhoused person like, give me some change. He had like he was giving change, but he went in there and took money out the cut
oh,
so
let's
he
slow
could
down.
get her some ice cream. So that's what popped in my head when you said that. I was like,
Let's
oh
slow
shit.
down. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'm crazy. I'm admit
Hey. Oh, I still gotta go look up that movie you was talking about last time. I don't forget what it was now though. I have to go back and look. Um th- so another thing I want to say is learn how to communicate without trying to shame people. A lot of the times we hear people through the lens of our own pain. And so when somebody has hit a wounding of yours, most times we're going to think on the cuff and react automatically and try to figure out how can we make them hurt like we're hurting? How can we hurt their feelings? How can we shut them up and get them up off us, right? But if you truly like a person and you want to get to know them or you say that you love them, why do you want to make them feel shame? Why do you want to beat them down? It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to ask for clarity. It's okay to communicate about things, but you can do so in a way without degrading a person or disrespecting them or shaming them for something they said, something they feel, something they've been through. Don't throw their past in their face. You know,
but
learn how to
some
be present
some
in that moment and communicate.
some people don't know how to be outside of that moment,
Mhm.
and that's the thing they have to learn, like to get past your own personal trauma. Because yeah, a lot of people, yeah, our parents fucked us up,
Mhm.
but you got to get past that, and you got to learn how to get past that for yourself, not for anybody else. So don't try to get past it for somebody. Get past it for yourself, and that's
Mhm.
the only way that you're going to be able to move forward in life and have healthy relationships.
Absolutely. take a beat. It's okay. Like we already said before, it's okay when somebody, like, I'm a big fan of don't touch me. When I get agitated or frustrated, all my senses are heightened. Everything's on red alert. Everything is just rushing. My brain is trying to catch up. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, please don't touch me. Please stop talking. Let me just be still and be quiet for a minute. It's not that, want to shut down, but what I need to be able to do for me is to stop all the stimulus because it has triggered a wound in me, and I need to be able to get out of that wound in order to truly hear, what that person is saying,
Mm-hmm.
what they're trying to communicate to me, why, and be able to figure out what I want to respond in such a way that I can give it to them without trying to be hurtful. And I what I've learned in the past is that a lot of people are so unused to that. I think we sometimes use touch as a way to make sure that we're good, make sure that that person is good. And so when I started learning to implement that boundary, I remember the first time I did it to somebody, they were like, "You really don't want me to touch you?" And I was like, "No, please don't touch me." Like, just give me a minute where I don't have any stimulus. Like, let me just be still and be quiet. And that can be hard because most of us were not taught to respect boundaries. We grew up in the house, fuck how you feel and fuck what you need, do what I said, right? So we weren't taught autonomy and sovereignty. We weren't taught to lean into our emotions or figure out what we need or how we feel and to be able to express that in healthy ways. But you've got to go through the discomfort of learning it as an adult. It was really uncomfortable for me, but I had to learn it because I was that person that would just shut down and be like, at this point, I don't even give a damn. Like, I'm good. That's not healthy and it's not okay. Um, you can't ask for people to be vulnerable with you and communicate with you if you are not willing to reciprocate that in return, right? So again, I'm a big advocate for figuring out what you need in the moment. For me, I have learned it is to be still and be quiet. Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes, let me be, and then I can get out of this so that I can actively hear you and respond. Whatever yours looks like, you may be the person that needs a hug. This again is why I'm a big fan of talking. You have to be able to communicate these things before you get into the moment. Don't wait till you done had your first bad argument and y'all at each other's throats. You know what I'm like?
No, I feel you 100%.
Discuss some of this stuff as you're getting. How do you handle disagreements? How do you handle arguments? How do you respond when you get uncomfortable or you get upset or angry? Like, how do you communicate that you need a moment? What does that look like? Like, we need to be asking these questions and having these conversations so that when those moments happen, you know how to navigate it and handle it.
I mean, simple questions like what makes you happy?
Boop.
And people won't ask that. They'll ask other stuff. Like, oh, what do you like to do? Oh, what do you like to have fun? But what makes you happy? Like genuinely happy? And it
Mhm,
could be something like, I like planting my flowers and tending to my garden.
mhm.
And that's something to know.
Yep.
Because instead of buying a dozen of roses that are going to die, you could buy some rose seeds.
Mhm,
If you know that about her, and I'm just speaking from a man's point of view, and vice versa,
mhm,
because there are men that love to tend their garden too.
mhm.
So, ladies, you can do, and ladies, men like flowers. So don't sit there and think, oh, I can't buy him some flowers. You could buy a man some flowers.
Absolutely. Look, if my man said he wants to be able to frolic and experience black boy joy running through a field of sunflowers, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be done found it on my map and bookmarked it. So as soon as we have some free time, baby, let's go frolic. Like, take the time and don't just pull it out when you're in the middle of an argument, y'all. Because what happens now? This is science. This is cognition at this point, okay? How our brain anchors emotions and memories. And Nadina, I see your comment too. So science tells us that we train our brain. Simplest way to say it, right? We train our brain through repetitive action, through repetitive things we see, we do, we say, we experience. If the only time You buy him or her flowers or do something nice for them or get them their favorite thing or take them to their favorite place or whatever, is when they are pissed at you, they are going to start to associate it as a negative thing, because the only time they get it is when they're upset with you. This is why a man can say, but I bought her flowers and she don't give a fuck about them flowers, because the only time you buy it is when you done fucked up and she pissed. Or you do something for him that you know he likes. You go get him his favorite thing or buy him his favorite aftershave. But the only time you do it is when you done fucked up and he pissed. Don't do that. Research shows us that for every negative experience we have, it takes 5 positive experiences to help rewire. So don't wait until it's a negative experience. Learn the things that your person enjoys so that you can do them regularly and consistently. Don't wait until you done fucked up and you're trying to get out the doghouse. Nadina said, so many people today have lost the art of communication. If you can't talk, we can't be together. I know that's right.
I mean, that is true. I mean, the art of conversation is a thing, and that's why I call it an art, because it's the art of conversation. I mean, because it takes two,
Yeah.
and I have literally stopped dealing with people because it takes two. And
Oh,
if I
that's
gotta
true.
remind you that a relationship is a two-way street more than once, like I'll say it one time, I give you grace. I'll say it one time. But if I gotta say it more than once,
We too grown for
nah,
that.
nah, we ain't got nothing to discuss.
We too grown for that.
Because it takes two. And it always say just like it takes two to tango. Yeah, it takes two for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not just between men and women. I'm just talking about relationships overall.
Hmm. Hmm.
Whether
Hmm.
it's best friends, sibling, it takes two.
Yeah. I'm going to say another tip I want to throw out there is figure out how to make your joy as a Black couple an aphrodisiac. Meaning, what is it about them that you genuinely love? Like, okay, when you looking at him, is it his eyes? Is it his beard? Is it his six pack? Is it his waves and his head? You know, like, what is it? Is it the way he walks up and grabs you from behind, ladies? Right? For the men, what is it that you like? For the men, what is it that you love about him? Is it the way? I mean, her. Is it the way you lift up that muffin top and rub her stomach? Like, is it the way that ass jiggles when she walking in front of you? What is it about that person? It could be something tangible on their physical body. It could be the way they say a certain word that makes you laugh and makes you, just feel butterflies. Is it a scent that they wear? What is it that you can really just lock in on that just does it for you, right? Let that be an aphrodisiac. Just like we would go eat a certain type of food or appetizer or hors d'oeuvre or fruit or whatever, in order to pick up that sexual high, you could do the same thing with tangible things concerning that person. But use all of those things to stay locked in on them. Use those things to keep that excitement so that randomly throughout the day, you're thinking about that person. Send them a cute little text and be like, man, I was just thinking about the way your butt jiggles in that skirt, baby. I was just remembering, that little sexy purple skirt you got. Or you can say, baby, I was just thinking about rubbing your beard last night. You know how I like to do it, Poppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think so many times we get caught up in work, kids, animals, obligations, finances, parents, a business, all the things that demand our attention, society bullshit, right? That sometimes we forget that person wants to be loved on. That person wants to be hyped up. That person wants to feel sexy in our eyes. They want to know that they the best sex we done ever had, like ever, ever. Yep, ever, ever, baby. They want to know that we want to be their last first kiss. They want to know that when we look at them, baby, it ain't can hold a candle to you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you want to hear? Because they want to hear something too, right? So how can we treat one another less as a commodity that we had to do all this work to get it. Now we got to put it on the shelf, and more like the prize, the gift that we want to enjoy every single day. You know that favorite toy that you want to play with every day. She want to be played with too. He want to be played with too. That's all I'm saying.
And you heard what she said. We are the prize, women and men. Don't say that. Oh, I'm the woman. I'm the men are the prize too. Because to be blunt, if it ain't nothing else, yeah, I'm giving you some good dick. What you talking about? You talking about all that other shit, but I'm giving you some good dick. So what the fuck you talking about? Yeah.
Ladies, if he put it down like that, he a prize. Treat your king
So
like a prize, ladies.
so don't be saying. I mean, and it's subjective. Whatever good dick is to you, that's what it is. Just like men, whatever good box
That
is to you is good box.
call it cookie. Call it box just sounds so
Oh, I'm sorry,
I
cookie. I didn't want to be too vulgar and be like good pussy, but I'm just saying
mean, it is what it is.
because I mean, me personally, I like to call it pussy, but hey,
I
you
mean,
know.
that's what it is. You can call it pussy or vagina, you
But
know.
some people be like, oh, so
Right. Depends
I was
on the but
trying,
don't be
I
clutching
was,
y'all pearls out there.
I was trying to be politically correct.
Well, we have too many kids that don't know the anatomical parts that they have, and they round here calling it pocketbooks and purses and peedy weedies and wieners and all this kind of stuff. And when people are harming them, they can't even adequately tell us.
Oh yeah, see
You know
now
what
that's
I'm
fucked
saying?
up.
So
Man.
I joke about it a lot, but y'all know that's one of my soapboxes I stayed on when we first started having these conversations. Like, call it shit what it is. Our babies need to be able to tell us when somebody fucking with them. Now he
That's true.
messed with my cookie. Well, I'll give you another cookie, baby. Like, I mean,
I
you get
know,
what I'm
I know,
saying?
I know. I feel you. I feel you.
Chandra, see, right, box, just like it don't sit right with me. Ugh.
I don't know though. That's the one time you want a wet soggy box.
Oh God. don't
Don't
that
mind
didn't
me,
make it no
Kiku.
better.
I'm wild. Don't mind me.
That didn't make it no
And
better.
trust me, y'all only getting probably about 1% because I could go a lot harder, but I'm trying to keep it within the because I
Well,
want
I
to
say when
convey
you
a
tell
certain
somebody,
message.
go say what you gotta say, Sean. As you see, Gypsy pulls no punches. She don't give a damn.
I
You
know,
know,
but she be on one.
she do. That's my boo.
You know what I'm
That's my
saying? I
boo
mean,
thing.
I love her too, but she be on one. Me personally, I ain't trust me, I'm where I'm at, but I ain't on one. If I was on one, I be slurring my words and I be talking like
Don't be don't be
fuck
coming
that,
for my girl now. Don't be coming
Oh
for
nah,
my girl.
I ain't coming for. I'm just saying, if I was on one, that's how it would be. Like y'all be like,
I
damn,
mean,
this nigga fucked up. That's all
look.
I'm saying.
So we be behind the scenes telling Sean, hey, do what you do, because there's somebody else out there that's gonna relate to how you giving it. Long
I mean,
my
and
thing
that's
is
and,
I be
and
real
that's true.
respectful,
That's true. But see, that's the thing. I'm trying to be respectful because if I go hardcore, y'all not gonna like. Yes, I'm like, damn, this nigga.
we gonna be like, out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying. So I try to keep it respectful. I try to, but also because I don't want people to get too focused on that versus the message that I'm trying to give.
Facts,
Because
facts,
I'm legitimately trying to. Because at the end of the day, like I don't care who you love, who you marry, whatever their ethnicity is. And it is really not really ethnic because that's all made the fuck up because we all are people who came from wherever we came from. But race and ethnicity, that's made up shit.
yeah,
And that's how I see it because everything is fucking made up. Everything. You want to look at the colors? Oh, that's blue. That's red. That shit is made up. Somebody said we gonna call it that. It's made up.
Yeah.
So anything could be anything. So fuck all that shit. Let's focus on the real shit. Look, we talking about feelings. How you
I
feel
tell
about
you,
somebody.
son.
You know what I'm saying? How you feel about somebody, what your emotions are. So that's the focus. It's not about all the other
Yeah.
noise in the background.
Yeah. And to that end, I will say, I think that in order to truly have a successful relationship, you got to have healthy friendships. Friendships are also relationships. Everything that we do, in my mind, is relationship. Um,
Exactly.
the way that I define that is any ongoing activity or engagement that you have with a person, that's a relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you, in order to have a healthy exchange with your romantic partner, I think that you have to have counterparts in your life that are able to offer subjective feedback to you as an individual person. That doesn't mean you got to be telling them all your business, but you do need people that reflect where you're trying to go in life, that reflect the things that you desire to have in life, so that you have encouragement to continue to expand yourself and stretch your boundaries. Um, we all need visual. We all need to see the things that we're working towards. We all need reinforcement and encouragement. So having healthy friendships is another way to ensure that at some point you're going to be able to have a healthy relationship. To that end, I somebody y- y'all be wanting to make me cuss sometimes, but I'm gonna go on and answer this question because I know she being trifling as fuck, but I'm gonna go on and answer the question.
Fuck it.
So,
Answer it.
so So one of my friends just messaged me like, "You still speak," and I'm adding the tone of voice, but she basically was saying, "I still speak so fondly of my ex. We need to go on and get back together." So I texted her back a few choice words. That being said, I think this is a good opportunity to acknowledge. I think this is a good opportunity to acknowledge. Yes, like I mean, we did not end on bad terms. You know, we did not end because we were angry with each other or like at war. We ended, or he says I ended it. I just honestly felt like we were no longer healthy together. But that doesn't mean that you stop loving a person. It doesn't mean that you stop honoring or respecting a person, right? I think, and I know different people disagree. I think that sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do when you love a person is to let them go.
That's
If
true.
you believe that you can't be healthy with them or they can't be healthy with you,
Exactly.
or together you're creating uh, uh, fire,
Yeah.
in each other's lives, I think sometimes you have to be able to say, I love you enough that I'm going to let you go,
No, that's
because I
true.
think that there's somebody else that can give you what I can't, or vice versa. Right. And so
Exactly.
we can absolutely have conversations now and high five each other and like hype each other up, like, damn, you working on that. Bet. you know the dreams we knew that we both had, the things that we talked about through the years, like we're absolutely able to still breathe life into that the few times that we talk or catch up with each other. And I think that that is, for me, that's actually been transformative, because I used to be that person, like, I never really ended a relationship on bad time. I mean, there's a couple, but for the most part, I've ended relationships peacefully, right? Or walked away peacefully if a relationship ended. And I just always felt like if it's over, it's over. And so my most recent expansion of healing over the past couple of years was like, maybe there are some people that I don't necessarily have to cut off. I think it depends on circumstance and context, but I want to throw that out. I know she was being messy as hell, but I felt like it was a valid question that might actually help somebody else. I think that you can still recognize the good that you had with a person while also acknowledging that whatever was not good or whatever might have been bad was enough to end things. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean that you don't like or love a person or respect them, but you can love them and yourself enough to go in different directions and let that be enough. Does that make sense?
You can
I think we stay with
always
people
love
too long.
somebody. You can always love somebody from afar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't feel like men and women can't be friends.
Yeah.
like platonic friends, or even if you had a relationship that didn't work out, okay, it didn't work out. But we had enough of connection that, okay, we can be friends. I don't see anything wrong with that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it does take a certain level of security within yourself because a lot of people can't handle that. Oh, y'all used to be together and now y'all just friends. I don't believe it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You know what? Because at the end of the day, if you meant for me, I ain't got nothing to worry about. If you're not meant for me, I'm going to find out. It's just going to happen. I'm not looking for shit. I'm not going through your phone. Nothing. It's
Yeah.
just going to happen.
Well, like I said, I think it depends on context and circumstance, but some people don't need to stay in communication. Some people don't need to stay in contact, for different reasons. But like I said, I think that um I've just never been one to really badmouth people when it was over. Like, I ain't gonna lie, whatever it was is whatever it was. If you was on some bullshit, you on some bullshit, and I'm gonna say the truth. But I've never been one that just felt like I needed to badmouth the person, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think,
I'm just saying it's always three sides. Your truth, their truth, and the
oh,
truth.
all the time, hands down, because everything is perception, right?
So I'm just saying.
In my
But
mind, I am absolutely amazing. Like, but I'm just like, no. That that being said, that's another tip. Listen, baby, get somebody that's gonna be your biggest, baddest, loudest cheerleader. You want somebody that's gonna hype you the fuck up and believe in your dreams. Believe in you so that when you feeling low and your tank need to be refilled, baby, they can gas you all the way up. You don't want
and
nobody that's in competition with you. You don't want nobody that's trying to humble you and keep you small. You want somebody that's gonna let you fly, let you soar, because they trying to be right there with you, keeping pace,
and
and y'all living y'all greatest life together.
and that doesn't matter what the relationship is, whether it's best
Mhm.
friend, sibling, cousin, person that you're with. It doesn't matter. That person should be your biggest promoter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One last tip I want to give you all is don't shy away from whatever your faith is, your spirituality and or your religious practices, preferences, your path, your beliefs, your whatever, right? Ideally, you want somebody that's in line with you. Now, that doesn't mean that they believe the exact same things that you believe, but what it does, in my mind, believe mean to be equally yoked is to have somebody that can hold space for you and you can hold space for them, and you're moving in the same direction, whether it's at the same pace or not. You're moving in the same direction with common goals, common interest, common vision. You all may have separate visions, but you all have similar vision or shared vision that you can accomplish together. And your faith, your spirituality is usually going to be a really big part of that. And you don't want somebody that you got to hide such a big portion of yourself from all the time, because that's going to bring out bitterness and resentment and anger as well. You want somebody that you can share that part of yourself, whether you do ritual work together, pray together, meditate together, fast together, go to church together, mosque, temple, whatever. You want somebody, even if you're in different paths, that is okay with holding space for you and you can hold space for them, and you all can share in ways that unite you all and not tear you all apart. So, be willing to have those. That's another thing that I ask up front. What are your beliefs? Who or what do you believe in? Do you pray? What, like, tell me about your faith system, right? Because you need to make sure it lines up with whatever you want to experience. If you want a man that can pray for you, ladies, don't get you somebody that says they're agnostic. That's probably not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And same thing for you as men. Like, we need to be more purposeful in choosing people that we can come together as iron sharpening iron. We can come together as a united front and not two halves butting up trying to become whole, or two wholes repelling each other like magnets on the wrong side. You know what I mean?
And if you're out here dating with intention, you need to let that be known up front. Like when you meet somebody, even before you exchange numbers, like, hey, I'm dating for intention. Don't sit there exchange numbers and get into a conversation. Then next conversation, you're like, well, yeah, I'm looking to get married, and that person, because that's just gonna scare them. Even if they would have been open to it, that's gonna scare them way up front because they like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. That's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And you could be blocking your blessings by this. So letting them know up front, I'm looking to date for intention. We'll let them know. Okay, okay. So at the very least, I know they're looking for a relationship. So
absolutely.
if I'm down with that, okay, yeah, give me your number. But if not, oh, you know what? I'm not on that kind of time. So let's just keep it amicable. And if I see him, I speak. But other than that, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to tie this all together, sex, intimacy, power, listen, the more you strengthen your communication, your sex life can't help but to benefit. Your relationship overall with your romantic partner can't help but to benefit. And whether you all about black power, black love, baby, I can't date nothing else, or you're open to other things and other people, whatever that looks like for you, communication is going to be a part of it, no matter how you cut that piece of cake, right? But especially if you are wanting to empower yourself in your black love journey, understand that we all are coming to the table with a lot, because the black man and the black woman, how do I want to say that? It's not a competition, right?
Exactly.
We are all out there dealing with shit. It is not a competition when you come together with your person on who's struggling the most, who's oppressed the most, who got it the worst out in society. You should be each other's safe space, each other. You ain't the safe space for the man if he ain't safe space for you, ladies. And if she ain't space for you, bruh, you can't be safe space for other. It is got to be reciprocal. Come together with safety in mind for one another, and not in competition of whose pain is worse, or whose plight is worse, or whose societal pressure is worse. Leave all that bullshit at the door and just truly use your communicative skills to get to know one another. And the benefit and the bonus is that it makes the sex fast. I mean, you got to have something to work with. You got to know what you're doing and using it to work with it. But if you got them two things, that's all I'm saying.
It kind of works out. But I do want to say, a big shout out to our audience. But I also want to give a special shout out to C.R. Patterson's and Sons. If y'all don't know who that is, look it up, Google it. Trust me, it's some good information to know. C.R.
C.R. Patterson and
Patterson's and
Sons.
Sons. It's just a little bit of history that you need to know about because we don't know about it until we know about it. Because they don't never
Patterson
tell
with
us.
an S.
No, Patterson and Sons.
Let me make sure
But
I'm
we
spelling
don't.
this right. Patterson.
Uh huh.
Okay.
But we don't know about it till we know about it because they won't tell us.
All that. All
You
of
know what I'm
that.
saying?
Well, as we bring tonight's episode to a close, again, we wishing Gypsy Boo and her family all the safe travels as they are enjoying vacation and family time. We love you, Gypsy. She'll be
Stay
back
safe
with us
on the
next
high
week.
seas.
She'll be back with us next week because she out there celebrate her big 5-5, y'all. Okay, them double nickels as she's been calling it. So we miss our boo thing, but she'll be back with us next week, and hopefully you guys got something good tonight. To empower yourself in your black love journey, to empower yourself in healing, in your sexual experience with your person, and your communicative experience with your person. Whatever you got going on, because it ain't never too late, and you ain't never been together too long to spice it up. That's all I'm saying. And communication is the key to being able to do that. Mm. So with that being said, make sure that you like this video, keep engaging. If you are catching up on the latter part of this, go back and catch the replay to get all of this good juiciness. Subscribe to the channel because, again, my bad. I take full accountability that I sent y'all the wrong link last week. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it until today. But that's your fault, because if you had liked the channel, you wouldn't have been waiting on me in the first place. So there's that.
Like, subscribe, and share.
With that, we will see y'all next week. And if you've got things that you want us to talk about, I'm gonna put the email up there real quick. You could just shoot us a quick message at sexintimacypower@gmail.com. There's also a quick form in the descriptions of every video as well that you can shoot us if you want to be anonymous and send us topics or questions that you want us to cover as well.
Exactly.
Y'all know what I'm saying? We appreciate every single one of y'all. We like you. We love you. And we'll see y'all next week.
Kind of forever.
Oh my God.